Good morning, everybody. I am so excited to be here. That's very hard to follow, is it not? Just such a moving story, and it just shows us the power of stories to help us connect. So I've got something for you, and I am so unbelievably excited at the moment, and this is why. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not me. I've been there, done that, got the milk-stained t-shirt. It's not me. I'm about to become a grandmother for the first time, so I'm so excited. And I'm really excited because you know what? I'm a bit of a baby expert. Yup, I am. So the reason I say I'm an expert, I am a pre and postnatal qualified teacher. I assess pre and postnatal case studies. I worked as an antenatal teacher for the National Childbirth Trust for many years. I have 5 of my own children. Yes, I realise up until I said that you thought I was sane. 5 of my own children, 3 of them were born at home, and this is my proudest moment. I am something of a legend in West Sussex for being the only woman in living memory who's given birth to a breech baby vaginally. Yep, that's me. I am the original Earth Mother. You know what that makes me? It makes me a baby expert. It also potentially makes me the worst kind of mother-in-law from hell for my son's partner. If it wasn't for the fact that I remember my role is not to preach, it's not to dictate, it's not to control. My role is to empower, and that is our role as experts, is it not? Our role is to empower other women, and that's really the basics of what I'm talking to you about today. So here we have the wonderful Rachel Holmes, a brilliant example of a woman who empowers other women, particularly instructors. That's her role. And through her franchise at the moment, it's Kickstart Fat Loss, that's what she's doing. She's empowering other women in their fitness businesses. And leaders become great leaders, not because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. And I think that's so important. That's always my check-in, is how does this empower other women? That's what I refer back to time and time again. So, something I'm very aware of in the industry. First of all, how many of you would describe yourselves as a public speaker, a stand-up presenter? Any of you? 1 or 2, perhaps. Okay. How many of you would happily claim that you are an expert in the field of fitness, health, or nutrition? In comparison to the average man and woman on the street, how many of you feel you're at FitPro? I'm assuming you're all fitness instructors. Are all your hands going up? Are you all experts? Proudly own that. You are experts, are you not? I would happily assert that the people in this room represent something like the top 10% of people in the industry. The reason I feel happy to say that and confident to say that is because you understand the importance of ongoing education. You invest in your own knowledge. It's important for you to come along to events like this. You recognise the value of connecting, supporting, networking, and the connections that you make when you come along, yes? So, we have the top 10% of the industry represented in this room. You are all experts, but not many of you are standing up and presenting. Why is that? I want to implore you to take up that challenge and to do that because it's such a good way to connect with people. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story about why I believe that's so. As women in the industry, and men, if you're men in the room as well, I believe that you're guardians of the female narrative in the industry. I believe everything starts with us, because if we don't get it right, we can either push away our clients, as Katie's already talked about and Karen's already talked about, or we can attract them to us. And it really does start with us. And the imagery that we see on social media causes me great concern. You know, I'm thinking about how my children look at the images on social media. Half the time, they think I work in the soft porn industry. Yeah, you know what I mean? So fitness selfies, we're awash with those. We're awash with these great inspiring posters, aren't they? No squats, hell she squats, booty gains, all this nonsense. And I'm questioning, like, are we part of the problem or are we part of the solution? If we want to be part of the solution, we really need to act. We've got to be very vocal about what our message is, who we're talking to, what we believe in. My check-in constantly is, how does this empower women? That's what I always revert back to. So it was kind of with this in mind, I made a video back in 2014 and I put it onto Facebook. And in this video I asked, if I was a woman coming into the industry, who would I aspire to be? Who are the role models? Who do I look to? And along this video, it was just me kind of thinking aloud and asking the question, and people started to comment, and they said, oh, so-and-so would be really good to speak at your event. My event? Yes, I'd like to speak at your event. I'm a good role model. Hang on, my event? Did I say my event? I'd like to come and attend your event. My event? You see, basically all I was doing was putting it on Facebook like a thought, like we do, thinking out loud in a video on Facebook, which kind of committed me to doing something about it. So within 2 weeks of making that video, I had a commitment from 12 fitness professionals, leading women in the industry, to speak at the event. I had a venue booked that would host 100 women, and 3 months later it took place, and it was absolutely fantastic. Wife events is what it became. Why wife? Well, I wanted to empower women in fitness. That was what it was about. But EWIF wasn't terribly catchy, so I had to turn it around and make it wife. That's why it's wife, okay? So you don't all have to be married. The sale of the event basically went by that first video. That's what attracted people to the whole idea. And I continued to sell tickets and tell people about the event through videos. So it's a very good way to connect to people. People buy people. I think Karen's already said that. This was really true of Rachel Holmes. Now, Rachel, goddess of fitness, had never met me before. I knew Rachel. She didn't have a clue who I was, but someone had tagged her into the video. And she said to me afterwards, I thought, oh, I'm tagged in a million things every day. What is this? Who is this? Watch the video. And she said, oh, I quite like that woman. And I quite like what she's saying. And actually, I'll speak at her event. So it's a brilliant way to connect with people. Writing is good, but talking, real action, it's really quick to get to someone's message and say, do I like them? Don't I like them? It's a really good communication tool. So I didn't have a big marketing team. It was really just me and an idea, but everything from that video helped grow the event. So what was it about? Well, my message was pistachio. Has anyone got a severe nut allergy in the room? You're all okay with nuts? Good. Not only did I bring a baby grow, but I bought pistachios. How is a message pistachio? Would you like to take one? Do take one. I do like, whenever I go somewhere, I take gifts. Do take one. In fact, I'm going to ask you to take one and pass the box on, perhaps, which will save me walking all around the room. And then you've got like a little snack for later as well. So pistachio. Can you say what your business does in 4 words? Think about Facebook. Facebook, sharing things with friends. Dead simple, that's what it does. My business is about empowering women in fitness. Wife. Your message needs to be as clear as that. Do people know what you stand for? Do they know what your values are? What are you trying to do with your business? My business, and I seem to have skipped a card here, a very clear and distinctive message. It wasn't vanilla, it wasn't bland. Pistachio is very clear, it's something distinctive, it's not to everybody's taste, but you know what, that's all right, because if your business speaks to everybody, it doesn't actually speak to anybody in particular. So you've got to be clear. So Wife was about providing a platform for women to speak and present. It was about identifying who the role models were in the industry. It was about promoting those women so that other women could see them. It was about connecting and support. It was recognising that many women work isolated, freelance, self-employed, and we don't sit in offices, so we don't get that day-to-day connection. So it's really valuable to come together. And that's what the message behind Wife was all about. It was very clear, it was pistachio. Can anyone think of 4 words to describe their business? Got 4 words? What have you got? Get out, but that's brilliant, isn't it? That straight away tells me that the clients you're working with have got pain for some reason. Maybe they're recovering from illnesses. I don't know. What is your business?
Well, I do Pilates and yoga, but I mainly cater. It's like saying, your target market.
Yeah.
It's a more mature people with multiple sclerosis, hip replacements, knee replacements.
Right.
It's the basic things like the lady said before, being
So it's really, so get out of pain, tells me straight away. So think about that. Can you say what your business does in 4 words? And then can you bullet point it, other than that? So empowering women in fitness, what else do I do? Provide a platform for women to speak, promote women, identify role models, provide networking, support, education. These are the bullet points, but the 4 words that sum it up, WIFE, Women in Fitness Empowerment. That's what we do. So your mission, is it not to inspire, inform and influence? And I believe this is for all of us. If we want to control the female narrative in the industry, if we want to say what is and isn't acceptable, what does and doesn't empower women, it's down to us. And you can really put that into action as a speaker to inform, influence and inspire. One of the recent events we did was a Wife in Business event. This was a smaller event than the first event. It was a mastermind day to really we had some key speakers, and then we moved on to identify what the audience wanted to work on in the afternoon sessions. And one of the speakers at the event was Claire Burleson-Green from Clubbersize. And you know what she'd said to me at the start? I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this, but she was really nervous about speaking. And well, why are you really nervous about speaking? You've got Clubbersize, you do classes, you've been doing this for 3 years, it's very successful. She hasn't ever shared her business knowledge. She hasn't ever stood up and shared that. And I'm like, that's such a loss to the industry. This woman has so much business knowledge to share. Why isn't she presenting this knowledge? And it was fantastic. She added real value to the session. So when I say to you, you need to stand up and present and share your knowledge as educators, that's why, because I believe you've all got something to share. Fiona's sitting on the front. Fiona also presented, and she was absolutely brilliant. She gave people a brilliant insight into what an editor wants, what we're looking for from fitness professionals, what works, what doesn't work, and the standards she's expecting. So this is your mission. This is what I challenge you to do every day, to think how you inspire, how you influence, how you inform, how are you getting that message across to people. The difference to me, we've got an industry that's very led by aesthetics, is it not? It's aesthetically driven, and we know that social media has even driven that agenda further forward. It can seem quite exclusive at times. You're not fit enough to be part of our gang, you're not ripped enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not young enough, whatever. Because of that, it can feel quite competitive, and all that can lead to making people feel a little bit disempowered. Again, I come back to the watchword is, how does this empower women? What I look to promote, what the events look to promote, and what the women who come to us we're looking to promote is much more about health. Put the emphasis back on health. Make it inclusive. Everybody can join us. We're not an exclusive fitness gang, and very much that applies to wife as well, because if you're a woman, you work part-time, maybe you only do a couple of classes a week, maybe you're juggling childcare and all the rest of it. Some of the women who've come to me in wife said, do you know, I didn't feel like I had a place in the industry before you. I wasn't sure. I come along to events and I'm like, whoa, they're all so up there, and I'm just like part-time, and does that really count? And yes, you do. So it's about being inclusive. The other thing that I think women are brilliant at, and that's collaborating. And that's really what we've gone on and done through wife. Women have connected, they've gone off and done their own projects together. That's fine, I'm not protective about that. That's what I want to. I want to facilitate people working together and be more collaborative. And all this health, inclusiveness, collaborating, that all works to empower women. That's what it's about. So my message to you really is, can you be a guardian? Can you step forward? Can you speak up? Can you stand out? Can you share your knowledge? It's really up to us to lead where we think the fitness is going, really where we feel the female narrative is going as well. To further endorse the power of connecting people and people by people, I met Jane here last year at FitPro. We talked about the female narrative and what we can do to support women in fitness. We've communicated via email since. And then you know what I sent her? Because I really love this. I sent her a video pitch. I'm not sure whether anyone's ever sent you a video pitch before, Jane, but if you want to talk to someone and say, I'd really like to present at your event, and I think I'd be good at it, and I think I've got something to share, how better to communicate than via video. And I think it's a really powerful tool that you should all be embracing and use that to connect with your groups, with your women, because people buy people, and they want to know about you, and they want to be able to connect to that. So, that just to recap, is your message clear and distinctive? Is it pistachio? Are people clear what your values are because they'll buy what you stand for? And are you ready to step up, speak up, stand out, because you're all professionals, you're all experts, and you're the very people to lead education in the industry. Thank you very much.